Welcome to our YouTube channel. Here is your daily NBA updates for today's game's result, next game's schedule, and the updated NBA team standings as of today, November 24th, 2024.
In the first of 7 NBA games played today, the Utah Jazz gets an upset home victory with a 121-106 win over the visiting New York Knicks. Lauri Markkanen led the Jazz in scoring with 34 points along with 9 rebounds, followed by Colin Sexton, 25 points, and John Collins, 20 points and 13 rebounds. For the New York Knicks, OG Anunoby led the team in scoring with 27 points, followed by Jalen Bronson, 23 points along with 8 assists, and Josh Hart finished with 16 points. For the second game, the Orlando Magic collects another victory after defeating the Detroit Pistons at home with the final score of 111-100. Franz Wagner led the Magic with an all-around performance, finishing with 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, followed by his brother Moritz Wagner, who added 18 points, and Anthony Black, 11 points. For Detroit, Jaden Ivey led the Pistons in scoring with 19 points, followed by Malik Beasley, 18 points, while their top player Cade Cunningham did not play in this game due to injury he sustained in their last game. For the third game, the Memphis Grizzlies outlasted the Chicago Bulls in a shootout with a 142-131 victory. Scottie Pippen Jr. led Memphis with 30 points, along with 10 assists, followed by Jalen Wells, 26 points, and Jaren Jackson Jr., 23 points. For Chicago, Zach LaVine led the Bulls in scoring with 29 points, followed by Nikola Vucevic, 26 points, and Matas Buzelis, 14 points. For the fourth game, the Milwaukee Bucks now starting to flex its muscles as they win their 4th straight game with a victory against the Charlotte Hornets. The final score is 125-119. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, followed by Damian Lillard, 31 points, and Gary Trent Jr., 16 points. For the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball continues to impress as he exploded for 50 big points along with 10 assists, followed by Brandon Miller, 32 points and 11 rebounds, and Josh Green, 11 points. For the 5th game, the Portland Trailblazers gets their revenge in their mini-series against the Houston Rockets with a road victory and a final score of 104-98. Anthony Simmons led Portland in scoring with 25 points, followed by Shaedon Sharpe, 24 points, and Jeremy Grant, 22 points. For the Rockets, Alperen Şengün led the team with 22 points, followed by Amen Thompson, 19 points, and Jabari Smith Jr., 14 points. For the 6th game, the San Antonio Spurs gets an upset victory at home by defeating the visiting Golden State Warriors with the final score of 104-94. Victor Wembanyama had a great game, finishing with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists, followed by Harrison Barnes, 22 points, and Stephen Castle, 19 points. For Golden State, Andrew Wiggins led the team in scoring with 20 points, followed by Steph Curry with just 14 points, and Trace Jackson Davis, 12 points. For the 7th and final game played today, the Denver Nuggets demolishes the Los Angeles Lakers on the road with the final score of 127-102. NBA, the 3-time most valuable player Nikola Jokic led the Nuggets with 34 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists, followed by Michael Porter Jr., 24 points, and Christian Braun, 16 points. For the Los Angeles Lakers, Austin Reeves led the team in scoring with 19 points, followed by the Kings, LeBron James with 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, and Anthony Davis finished with 14 points along with 10 rebounds.
Tara, samahan mo ako tropa, and let's take a closer look at the updated NBA team standings as of today, November 24th, 2024.
In the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers remains at the summit of the East team standings with 16 wins and only one loss. At the second spot is the Boston Celtics with 13 wins and just 3 defeats and have won 4 straight matches. Moving up to the third place is the Orlando Magic with 11 wins and 7 losses and on a 2-game winning run. Going down at fourth place is the New York Knicks with 9 wins and 7 defeats. The Milwaukee Bucks climbed to the East top 5 with 8 victories and 9 losses and have now won 4 consecutive games. At the sixth spot is the Miami Heat with 6 wins and 7 losses. At number 7 is the Atlanta Hawks with 7 wins against 10 defeats and have lost back-to-back games. At number 8 and 9th places are the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons, who are tied up with 7 wins and 11 losses. The Brooklyn Nets completes the East top 10 with 6 wins and 10 defeats. The Charlotte Hornets and the Indiana Pacers share the 11th and 12th spots with an identical 6 wins and 10 loss record. At number 13 is the Toronto Raptors with 4 wins and 12 losses and have won 2 straight matches. At number 14 is the Philadelphia 76ers with 3 wins and 12 defeats. And at number 15 and the very bottom of the Eastern Conference standings is the Washington Wizards with just 2 wins and already accumulated 12 losses and have lost league worst 10 straight games. In the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors is on top with 12 victories and just 4 losses. At the second spot is the Oklahoma City Thunder, also with 12 wins and 4 defeats. Holding on to the third spot is the Houston Rockets with 12 victories and 6 defeats. At number 4 is the Los Angeles Lakers with 10 wins and 6 losses and on a 2-game losing streak. Completing the West top 5 is the Los Angeles Clippers with 10 wins against 7 losses and have won 4 consecutive games. At number 6 is the Memphis Grizzlies with 10 wins and 7 losses and have won 2 straight games. The Denver Nuggets is at number 7 with 9 victories against 6 losses. At the 8th and 9th spots are the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks, who are tied with 9 wins and 7 defeats standing. Completing the West top 10 is the Minnesota Timberwolves with 8 victories and 7 losses. The San Antonio Spurs is at number 11 with 9 wins and 8 losses. At number 12 is the struggling Sacramento Kings with 8 wins and 8 losses and have lost 2 straight matches. The Portland Trailblazers is at the 13th spot with 7 wins and 10 defeats. The Utah Jazz is at 14th place with 4 wins and 12 defeats. And at the very last place in the Western Conference standings is the New Orleans Pelicans with 4 wins and 13 losses and have lost their last 4 games.
Heto naman ang full details ng 6 NBA games na naka-schedule for tomorrow, November 25th, 2024.
For the first of 6 NBA games scheduled for tomorrow, the mighty Boston Celtics will be at home at the TD Garden Arena as they host the visiting Minnesota Timberwolves at a very early 4:30 in the morning. For the second game, the Washington Wizards will travel to Indiana to play versus the Pacers at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tip-off will be at 6 in the morning. For the third game, Jimmy Butler and the rest of the Miami Heat will be at home at the Kaseya Center as they host Luka Doncic and the surging Dallas Mavericks at 7 a.m. For the fourth game, the Los Angeles Clippers will try to keep their winning streak alive as they travel to Philadelphia to face the struggling 76ers at the Wells Fargo Arena, also at 7 in the morning. For the fifth game, the league-leading Cleveland Cavaliers will be at home at the Mortgage Field House Arena as they play against the visiting Toronto Raptors at 8:30 a.m. And for the sixth and final game scheduled for tomorrow, the inconsistent Sacramento Kings will try to lit up the beam at home at the Golden One Center as they host the Brooklyn Nets. Tip-off will be at 10 in the morning.